Anti-aging, vitality, aging gracefully is timeless, meaning no matter where you are in your life, if you feel you no longer have vitality, you're concerned about your aging process, I want you to download Dorothy's book. I want you to do the Kundalini yoga classes, and I want you to travel. This story is about Mary Morrissey's mom, Dorothy Menin. She lived an amazing, incredible life, lots and lots of energy, and really basically afraid of nothing. At the age of 75, she went skydiving for her birthday. She was married for a very, very long time, I believe 50 or 60 years, to Mary's dad, of course. He had an untimely death, and she went into a very deep depression. It was so bad that she wanted to die. She told her kids that. She told her friends, I really have no reason to live. I want to join my husband, wherever he is. This was very difficult for the family to watch, of course, because this woman had such a zeal for life. A few years went by. Yes, she was in a deep depression for a few years. And she finally approached Mary and said, this dreaming thing that you do, maybe I should look into it. Mary has a flagship program called Dream Building. It was a program also on PBS, very famous. She still does it. Cut to the chase that Mary instructed her mom on ways to find out what you would truly love. Her mom came up with several things, and what she pursued was, first off, painting. She painted porcelain. She painted canvas. She took lessons. She did so wonderfully well that she was doing art shows, and her pieces have been in museums. Now, this is a woman in her 80s who went through deep depression after her husband died. To top it off, at the very end, which is what I want you to check on when you go to my podcast, click on her book called 90 Ways to Put a Zip in Your Day. She created this entire book, all the sayings, all the artwork. The foreword is by Mary Morrissey, and it gives me cold chills just to think about it because, again, this woman is in her 90s when she produced this. Bob Proctor says that many of us die with the music still in us, and Dorothy, when she got back up in the saddle, oh my gosh, she was blazing. I want you to look at that book and read it. Take a little lesson from it every day, because this is a woman who has truly showed us that aging gracefully, and there are beauty secrets that even men can learn. Vitality starts with our breathing, which is what Kundalini yoga is all about also. I have included 2 virtual classes. The first one is Guru Jagat and Shiva Rose. I always put them up because this is one of the best virtual classes I have ever seen. And this is completely about anti-aging, aging gracefully, and having more vitality in your life. Again, no matter what age you are, you can start this process. I see so many women and men do some kind of collagen or some kind of Botox. You really do not need this. If you started these Kundalini yoga classes, I can promise you within 6 months, you're going to see dramatic changes. I have been doing Kundalini yoga for 28 years, 29 years. I'm 65 and a half. A lot of people think I'm still in my 50s. Some goofball said I was in my 40s. The important thing is just do 3 minutes a day. If you lead up to 15 minutes, that's super, but just start slow with 3 minutes. The other thing about Kundalini Yoga, the other virtual class is Har Prakash, one of my favorite teachers I've studied with in person in New York and now virtually because I live in Gulfport, Florida. The specific Kriya that I want you to practice is anger management. If you do this Kriya for 40 days, you will no longer, I'm serious, experience anger in your life. You're going to choose a different emotion. When something comes up that triggers that anger, shut that off. This is going to teach you something so vital to aging gracefully, creating more vitality, and anti-aging. Anger creates cancer. There have been studies about our mental health that when women have a lot of anger, it stays in our breasts. Why do you think there's so much breast cancer? The other idea about this Kriya is it will help you prevent those emotions that are destructive to your mental health, but also your beauty. Anger is so destructive to our happiness. When you're happy, you look 20 years younger, folks. Try both of those Kriyas. And lastly, everybody loves to travel. So travel to vineyards. You will be so happy, especially Stoutridge, because this is truly a destination winery and distillery. When you make your reservation to visit Stoutridge, because I do think you should take the time to take a class or at least a tour, a significant tour where you're spending time with the master distiller and vintner, Steve Osborne. 3 places are on the podcast details I suggest you stay. I love Roundhouse. Roundhouse is in Beacon. It overlooks the Beacon Falls. It's New York is really famous for renovating all their ancient buildings, but in a beautiful way. So they have really beautiful architecture in Beacon. It's a walkable village. You can easily spend your weekend there. You can spend a week in Hudson Valley. Trust me. Call me. Text me. I'll help you plan your trip. There's also Buttermilk Falls Inn, which I have stayed at. So those 2 places are beautiful type, almost resort type places, but in the country, really great. There is a typical bed and breakfast, an older bed and breakfast, that's antique in style, the old world style of B&Bs, Danskenhaber. All those are great places to stay. I am doing a different genre for summer. I don't want you folks to think that I want you to start laughing. It's better for your mental health. There are studies that are showing us we cannot stay in trauma and tragedy. And our kids are going through tough times. Adults are being bombarded. And you know what? Take a couple of days off from the news, especially over the weekends. We can afford not to even look at our iPads or iPhones and even look at the news. So summer is supposed to be enjoyed. To wrap this up, anti-aging, aging gracefully, vitality can start at any age. When you practice the Kundalini Yoga, practice happiness, read Dorothy's book, download it, travel. Take tiny little trips if what's going on with our crazy economy is burdening you some. Go to the beach. Go to a lake. Go hiking. Change your zip code. That's what one therapist told me. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to Social Boom. I started classes this summer with them. I feel like I'm in graduate school. These guys, Dan and Travis, I met them at PodFest where I was a speaker. They're the cat's meow. They are dope. They are all the things that millennials say. Classes are challenging, but they really put you on point. To close this, Wealth Yoga Wine, Valerie Hale. I'm here to help you create a blueprint for an abundant life. Merci et au revoir.